Greetings, friends. Welcome to Cook Along with Debbie, part of our Open Spirit Weekend of Spirit preparations. Today we are going to make a carrot curry soup. This is one that we've had a number of years at Weekend of Spirit, and I'm going to get it started first, and then I'm going to talk with you a little bit more about the history behind this particular soup. So we're going to start by heating up some olive oil at a sort of medium-low heat. So this soup, I think we have made it from scratch only for the last couple of years, because it's sort of our own version of a soup that we had for many, many years as part of Open Spirit, and that was a soup, a carrot ginger soup, that was donated by Don Aiken, who is the owner of Medieval Manor in Boston. So he brought out actually just amazingly good carrot ginger soup as his gift to Weekend of Spirit. He has since passed away, so we miss him, and I think of him every time that I make this soup. So over the years, we've made it a couple of times remembering him, and today I think of Don as we make this soup. So if we were in a non-COVID time, there would be giant pots. Actually, it wouldn't be here. It would be in the kitchen at the church, and there would be giant pots and 3 or 4 people chopping carrots, chopping onions, chopping celery, making this soup along with our ginger lentil. So I think the oil is heated up enough. I'm putting into it onion and celery. I didn't think you needed to watch me chop them all. And a pound and a little bit more of carrots. The recipe calls for parsnips as well, and I forgot to get those at the store, so I cut up a few extra carrots. So the recipe suggests that you chop all of these things very, very, very finely. I'm not sure I understand why, because we're later going to be pureeing it, so I chopped them pretty coarsely, figuring that everything would eventually get chopped again when we puree it. I'm going to put all of those in, all of those vegetables in, and grab a spoon, stir it around a bit, and we're going to let those cook a little bit before we do anything more, keeping an eye out to make sure it doesn't get burned or anything. So one of the things that I love about Weekend of Spirit is the lunchtime. And typically it's been a 2-hour period of time so that folks can come and go, and there's a number of other things going on, sometimes some special programs that aren't exactly a workshop but a little bit more informal, as well as the healing spa where folks may have signed up for treatments. So with the 2-hour time slot, we both have enough room for everybody in the dining room and not so many long lines. But also just this opportunity that folks, if they want to sit there for 2 hours and talk to new friends and old, they can do that. And so it's one of the things I really love. I also really love the cooking process. I love to cook in general, but I especially love to cook with other people. There's something about that, sharing of that opportunity to nurture other people. So I'm really sad to miss having lunch together this year. And so we've been thinking about how we help us to feel connected in this time, and part of the idea behind these cook-alongs is that if you are making your own soup in preparation for Weekend of Spirit, when you will be in your own home, that you'll feel like we're cooking together a little bit. And also that as much as folks enjoy doing so, we're eating the same food, even though we are doing it from distant homes. it's what's really interesting about this very, very different weekend of spirit is while it feels like there is the loss of things like the laying on of hands part of the healing spa and the sitting together part of the lunch, it's also amazing the things that are possible because we're using electronic connection. Our Friday night opening is led by Samela and Patrick Saint-Pierre, who are now living out in San Diego. And we really grieved when they left Framingham to go to San Diego because they've been such an integral part of the Open Spirit community. We've stayed in touch. Dara especially has been good about staying in touch with them, and they have been contributing in this time to videos and such, and hands-on worksheets and things that we've been offering to children and youth in the Framingham Public Schools. So now they get to be part of us for the Weekend of Spirit because they will be offering their virtual art show. So just stirring every once in a while to make sure that it nothing burns. But we need to give it probably 5 or 10 more minutes. So you will hear me riffing, just letting you know all that's going on. So one of the things that's going on right now that happened again this morning is on Monday mornings at 9:30 a.m. I've begun offering a 20-minute begin your week with a moment, with a few minutes of reflection and guided meditation. And for this time, as we approach the Weekend of Spirit, for this time, the theme of those reflections and guided meditations is the theme of our Weekend of Spirit, transforming our lives, release, evolve, create. So the very first one, I focused on the word release, thinking about it as all of the things in these last 6 months that we have had to let go of, and what it means to choose to let them go. For me, that's very much about a grieving process, or I like to say a grieving journey, because it's a part of grief. Part of letting go is you're letting go of one thing, setting off on a journey, and you don't actually know where that journey will take you. So it's something that takes a lot of trust. So that was the first one, and then today we focused on the word evolve. And I hadn't even really thought very much about that word until I was preparing for it, but we had originally chosen the word adapt. And somebody had given some feedback that as a teacher, that person was constantly being told in this time, adapt, 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 adapt. And it was exhausting and overwhelming. So we changed the word to evolve, and I'm so glad that we did, because it feels like it's about, adapting is about in that moment, that thing that you do, and evolving is about how do we allow these new things that we've had to do to help us to change and grow and become different people. So evolving. I'm going to check these again. So you want the carrots, and especially you want to make sure that the onions are cooked enough that when they cook more in the whole soup, that rawness is gone. And you want the carrots to begin to get soft. And I think that's pretty good. So the next step is to add 6 cups of vegetable or chicken stock. I use vegetable, especially for Weekend of Spirit. Some people make their own. I don't have enough room in the refrigerator or the freezer to do that. To add 6 cups of vegetable stock. These ones seem to be about 4 cups. So I'm going to do this. And another 2 cups. So one of the things I love about soup is measurements can be approximate. So feel free to adapt this any way you like. One of the things that I sometimes do with this recipe that I am not doing today is sometimes I add some fresh ginger to it. So I've added the vegetable stock, and then I add chopped apple, and it says a big thick strip of orange peel. So it does say to peel the apple. I always ignore that. Again, in part because we're pureeing, and in part because they say that's the healthiest part of the apple. So I'm going to bring that back to a boil. I'm going to add the curry powder. It says 1.5 teaspoons. I love curry, so I'm going to make it a little closer to 2 teaspoons. I'm going to mix that together. And I'm going to bring it to a boil. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to need to let it simmer for about 20 minutes. So I'm pretty good at riffing, but I can't riff for 20 more minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this carrot curry soup part 1, and then you can come back. You can do the same thing, do these things with me, then put it on to boil, and then when your soup, about 20 minutes later, when everything is very soft, you can tune in to carrot curry soup part 2, and we will puree together. Thanks, and I'll hope to see you in about 20 minutes. Bye-bye.